What is up, bros? Josh here. In today's video, we're going over a game that I couldn't help but not make a video about. Even was asked post-game, hey, me, Josh, are you going to make a video about this game? And I just have to. There are so few games, especially in high tiers, that end up like this. Because high tier games, I don't know about you, but for me, they just seem to be so one-sided. 10 kills on one side or 12 kills on one side and only 2 on the other. So many games are just so one-sided these days. And having a good one, actually a close battle, seems so rare, and when you get one, it's amazing, and you kind of remember why you really enjoy playing this game. It kind of gets boring after a while. I've kind of noticed that in high tiers, that really games just are so one-sided so fast. You seem like you have such a little impact on the game, and when you finally get a game like this, it really kind of is just a I don't know, almost a throwback feeling. It's such a foreign feeling to have one. But anyways, I digress. The game was fun, and so I had to make a video on it. We're in the Grozavoy, though, one of my favorite tier 10 destroyers to play right now, especially since it is, there's lots of CVs out there. The Grozavoy with the gearing, probably the 2 best destroyers for actually defending themselves at tier 10. And the Grozavoy, of course, getting its heal a while ago. It's become a beast of a destroyer. Downside is, though, it only has 10-kilometer torps compared to basically everything else at this tier, at least getting 12 kilometers or more. There are a couple at 10, but they have other things that kind of support them doing more damage outside of torps. So dealing with radar can be pretty tough. So looking at the breakdown of this game, they have 2 Des Moines and as well as a Moskva, so things we're gonna have to worry about there, as well as 2 destroyers that will outspot us with the Shimakaze and the Jutland. So some things, not the easiest setup, but we see the Shima, or we see C being capped, so obviously Shima's over there, and we see the Jutland over on the other cap, so I know I can cap B without really having to worry about it. This is something that, if you guys are playing destroyers, should really get used to. But there we go, the first radar. This will be the DM that causes us mayhem all game. Obviously, he was just detected, so he knows something's close, and there's no real reason for us to smoke up here or anything like that. So we are going to just open up and continue to fire. And don't worry about those ghost shells in the front. He wasn't hitting with his back gun, but had some ghost shells there. But overall, was able to kind of focus on that. Always give ourselves an out. Always give yourself an out. I think a lot of people don't really do that. One thing I'm always looking for when I'm playing a destroyer is, one, looking at team breakdown, so we know there's a CV, obviously, so got to worry about planes. And as you saw, I didn't really hit B cap that hard early and waited for the planes to show up. 2, broke down which destroyers they have, so they have a Jutland and a Shima. We know that both are going to outspot us, so I have to be careful about that. And then, of course, looking at how many radar ships they are. So, waited to kind of see that Des Moines we hadn't seen. We saw the Moskva. Now we see the other DMs over there as well. Kind of held off a little bit for our first attack and got a little unlucky on hitting that first torp. But overall, we kind of know where everything is now. We can cap B. The radar is gone. The other Moskva might be able to get us, but other than that, we're not going to be able to open up too much. As you see, I only have three smokes. I don't run superintendent on this captain since it is just my solo queue account. So solo queue and having multiple smokes isn't really the best. I would rather much take, I think I have BFT on this instead, so helping me against planes as well as popping my guns out. So anyways, I was trying to maybe get a little lucky on this. I bet you we were pretty close to Citadeling him, but got a little unlucky here. And was a little bit bummed out that the DM actually was able to fire dark there. So I missed a couple salvo, probably about 5,000-6,000 damage there, and he's able to get away. So bit of a bummer there, but we know we're good for a bit. Also, we sadly have a Montana YOLOing down the 9 line, pushing into a Shima, pushing into a Republic, and we're basically going to trade away a freaking tier 10 battleship for almost nothing. So without much being spotted here, we have to rotate out and hope that our kind of group of ships over here on the, as you see, we have a double Zhao div with the Moscow, Musashi, Montana, Z46. We have a lot of ships over at ACAP. Without much really happening over there. And we have an AFK Alsace with a YOLOing Montana over on the A cap. So or C cap, sorry. So I'm thinking, hey, what I'm going to do here is this Yamato is pushing up. I'm going to try to work down this, help this side down, at least slow these guys down. Hopefully our A cap can win that because they have numbers. It is what? It's 6v4 over there, and the CV isn't even helping that side. So we have the potential. This side obviously down pretty heavily. So we have a Conqueror over here though, so always kind of good to focus on what you have on this side. We have the Lexington, Conqueror, and a Des Moines. So kind of putting some faith into some other people. But we do have this Yamato. I want to try to just put some pressure because even though we lost our tier 10 battleship, we did end up killing a Zhao. And those guys can start to work down some other stuff and hopefully start pushing. The faster they get that Jean Bart down, as you see there, right on, what is that, F3, the faster they can kind of move in. And also, Conqueror, as long as I can just kind of keep him spotted and he just plays safe. Right now, if this Conqueror was smart, he would stop pushing into this team and start kiting away. However, he is heading straight towards the enemy team, which is really, really bad because, of course, as you see, they have 3 tier 10 battleships, a Yamato, Republic, GK, as well as a Moskva and a DM, and a Conqueror just gets burnt down. So he is pushing into these guys. If I were him, I would have stayed stealth, and the right play would have been to stay stealth and basically start firing once you're here, because you're just going to start burning these guys down. They're going to stay spotted because I'm going to keep them spotted. However, if you're going to get aggressive, he's basically just going to die. And I think he starts blaming us pretty quick for his demise. Typical high tier, but what are you going to do? We did get the Jean Bart kill, so that means we can start working that way. And there's the DM as well, and we forced a repair. So it's really important to start communicating with your team right here. I know I'm trying to avoid this radar, so I think we have the DM to deal with, and as well as the Moskva, and obviously DMs are pretty nasty right there. Also, the Yamato isn't focusing on me at all, so I know I can just fire on him. I broke the line of sight for that DM, as well as everything else. And then it's always good to see the Montana firing HE. Luckily, he did he did get the repair, and we have that DM back in the middle. So just consistently trying to keep an idea of where everything is, just a check of where everything is, resetting caps so that guy can't get that, just keeping spots on things and keeping eyes on everybody. And it's also very rare to get a secondary Yamato. This feels like it feels a rarity in this game to have a close game, and it feels it's a rarity to actually have a secondary Yamato. It feels like 2017 or something, back when those were a tad more viable. But getting the DM off of my cap, we are capping a cap and still trying to watch that. As you see, our our Conqueror goes down again. He easily could have escaped there. He was basically full life, but since he started to fire, rotated in, and then turned broadside to 3 tier 10 battleships, he was then vaporized and heading back to port. So down goes another tier 10 battleship. We've lost a Montana, a Conqueror, which is actually quite impressive to lose a Conqueror like that. This is a perfect situation. If anybody else is in that, you're just looking your chaps. You have a stationary Yamato, you have a GK, which is, oh my god, if you see a GK while you're in a Conqueror, that is just easy peasy 150k damage right there, as well as the Republic, as well as Moskva, as well as a couple other ships. So but since he played like that, nothing we can really do, and we're gonna try to pump in as much damage on this DM as we can, because the faster we get rid of these radar ships, the faster I can have a bit more freedom on what I'm doing, because I can then go in, I can then attack the Shima, I can then attack, you know, the Yamato. I can go a bit more gun heavy. Right now I'm kind of stuck. I can't push too close to the Moskva, because the Moskva obviously is going to just absolutely shred me with this radar. It's long range radar too, and DM too. So I have some pretty big threats still, and really we have to deal with planes as well. So still continuing to pump in damage. We got the DM kill, but still we are down some big ships. We lost our AFK, so that's not actually too bad, but still down 2 big tier 10 battleships. Not much we can do. Again, this Yamato is actually I think on repair right now, so I was trying to get a fire, got unlucky here, and we know the Jutland is on B cap. So if we can get this kill, that's very important, because the Jutland is one of the 2 destroyers. As you see, we have a Jutland North. We lost our Lexington. Things are going pretty bad right now. We had our Musashi, our Musashi was basically full life before he started to push through, and now he is going to, I think we end up getting the Jutland, or we get the Jutland pretty close here. But the Musashi we had on our team was pretty full. And as you see, he's down to 10k. So we are losing ships pretty quick. We have lost every battleship but one. Both of our tier 9s, 2 of our tier 10s. We have 1 HE firing Montana that is going to be bowing near a Shimakaze. Things are not looking very good, and I think I even said during the stream that this game was basically over. And of course, I just got bounced by a CV. So that was on me, though. I didn't pop my AA, so I could have obviously shot a couple more planes down. But upside, we have a couple caps, and we are capping that away. So still, though, trying to survive this and not get murdered. But we still have basically a full life Moscow to deal with, and this DM that will then be able to lock me down. And as you see, our Monty is pretty low as well. And as you see on their team, their Republic got away. The Republic was down to 30-some K. The Yamato is still hanging in there, and their GK is still very healthy. They are just crushing us with life right now. They have so much life compared to us. Our ship selection is pretty mediocre. I'm getting radar to oblivion. Probably the right play for me right here would have been to turn into that island. I would have avoided taking a little bit damage. I thought about it right there, but we are just going to peace out from here. Good thing is, though, we have 2 caps, and they have to push through basically no man's land to get this cap back. Z46 is low, one of our Zows is low. This is not the best situation. I could have easily avoided this damage. This was a bit of a misplay by us, by me right here, but anything I can, you know, it was a misplay. What am I gonna do? I'm not perfect, all right? But we lost another ship. Zao goes down, Iowa goes there, and right now I'm trying to figure out how I can stay alive, how I can do things, and just hope that our Z46 doesn't really get overextended and get too close. We're maybe trying to find that destroyer. We do have 1 smoke left, but my main thing right here is trying to get the Yamato kill, trying to get a cruiser kill, trying to get any kind of kill that I can and not die. So this is a pretty good learning experience, a pretty good learning situation on pretty much how to avoid and how to deal with multi-radar cruisers when it's a late game as a DD. So they still have their CV, although I think we do end up killing the CV. But dealing with radar ships, and as you know, with the standardization of radar ranges, USN is basically all 10 kilometers. Not all of them, but the majority of it. It's just a rule of thumb to know that 10 kilometers is the range, and things like the Worcester only have 9, and some of the lower tiers have 9 as well. But the Moskva and Russian ones are going to be 12. So we're going to try to chill between that 10-kilometer range and still just be the eyes for people. We got pretty lucky right here. Shima pushed pretty close. I don't know if he didn't know where our Moskva was, but that's a really good pickup for us. Then luckily, as soon as our Moskva rounded that corner, he popped radar, and the Shima should pop up here, and I think he gets the kill. And actually, our Monty ended up playing this really well. He was down to 5k. Their GK was at, like, I don't even remember, like 60 or 80, something like that. And so we ended up on top. That's a really good trade, and probably the health pool trade we needed to really finish out this game. And the Moskva, again, pretty healthy. DM has been farming up north, but basically what the Conqueror should have been doing exactly what he was. We get the kill, so there's 2 flips. That's really, really important. And one of the best things for me is they got rid of the CV. So at least we got that kind of trade. But we have a problem here. Z46 actually crashed, and he's heading north. He's heading back into the DM, and he's going to get killed here. So I'm in a bad spot. So I need to do a lot of things. I need to try to defend this cap if I can. I have to deal with 2 radar ships. I have a Republic, but I'm thinking I need to get out of the center, because that's where the radar ships are. Even though the Moscow is pretty far away, we have 3 ships up north. I'm thinking maybe they can do something. Maybe I can rotate south and start getting some torps on both the Republic. We know the Republic isn't full life. We don't know how much he's healed though, as well as the Iowa may have been damaged by the few ships to the south. So I need to rotate south. I have no more heals. I have no more anything. So, and I'll just try to get as much spotting as I can. But again, we're going to keep in mind 10 kilometers for the DM, 12 for the Moskva. So those are really, really important values. Again, though, look how priceless, or look how awesome having that extra cap in the middle was. for almost an entire game. We're down, and we've basically been down almost this entire game. We've been down, but we still have the lead. So that's really, really, really nice. And obviously, per normal games, you kind of wonder what everyone was doing, because look how healthy the rest of these ships are. A bit of a bummer, but things good deal is this DM is pushing right into me. 8.6 kilometers. We know he just radared the Z, though, so he can't radar right now. And trying to get within range. And again, the downside of this ship is I only have 10-kilometer torps. So what we're going to be using is ships traveling into me to kind of break down that math. So even if a ship is, as you see, the Iowa is going to be at 11 kilometers, if he keeps heading straight that way, those torps could actually hit him. So we're going to stay out of that radar range as much as we can. I'm getting distance. We just lost our Montana, but we are going to end up getting the kill for that Yamato. And I think the DM dodges. I think I get him with one here. I think I get him with the back row. And again, just trying to keep spots on this. So we get him with one, no flood. So right now I'm thinking of what to do. So we are in dire need. We are going to lose. We lost B-cap, which is a bummer. He knows where I am, but I'm getting out of range. And as you see right here, if I would have kind of hung out there a little bit more, I probably would have died. But I knew I needed to get into this range to get away from this radar. Because remember, 10 kilometers. So he's kind of rolling that way. He's playing this really well. I don't know. He kind of perfectly knew where I was. He didn't have radio location, so he just was guessing it really well. Obviously, he knew where the torps were coming from. And I was like pleading to the Moskva to hopefully kill this guy off, or just not YOLO. Because if the Moskva would have basically rotated south, he would have been broadside to all these guys. So we got pretty lucky here. Now we know the DM doesn't have radar. So we can get extremely close after this radar goes down. We are down to 1,800 though, and I only have 10-kilometer torps, as you see in the top right corner. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Now we will lose on cap, so we need at least a kill, 1 kill. But I'm thinking, man, the DM is pretty agile. He's probably out of radars at this point. He's radared me 3 times. Well, he's radared that one, the one before on me, and then the one on the Z46. So he's probably out of radar. So we kind of need to go all board. I'm going to probably get into a position where if I need to, I can gun down something. If I can get close enough, I can actually citadel the DM. But I'm looking for, if the Republic's going to rotate down, they're focusing, they're talking, which is good. And there goes our lead. We're now down on points after this next tick. So there we go. We need kills. We actually need 2 kills. And that's something that is not the easiest thing to come by. But really important for me to keep spots. Extremely important for me to keep spots on this team. It's not so much about me doing damage. It's about keeping them, or letting them being able to do damage. They can kill that Republic. And I'm hoping that the Republic either pushes in or the Iowa pushes in, something like that, where I can get within this 10-kilometer range. So I figured maybe he would rotate away. As you see, the Iowa is going north. The Republic is kind of pushing south. And I'm like, you know what? I have to do something with these torps. There's no reason for me to hold on to these. It's basically, we need 2 kills. They're going to get this Republic, which is amazing. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe this Iowa will rotate south, or the Moscow will rotate south because they're going to take damage, or this Iowa will maybe rotate south. Those torps might reach 10-kilometer torps though, and we will see what we can do. And so I'm trying to like kind of look and be like, man, do I start gunning? What do I do? Do I stop this cap? It doesn't really matter if we reset this cap at this point because we need kills. And so we're just going to kind of hope and pray. And the DMs this game avoided all of my torps, all of them throughout the entirety of the game. But finally, my little baby 10-kilometer torps finally found a home. And I'm thinking, man, I'm getting ready to fire right here, because if these don't all connect, we end up getting 3. A dev strike at the last little bit, and I'm just telling them to all live. So you don't really get that. We finally got a dev strike in the last 30 seconds of the game. It's going to be so close. Watch the countdown. Look at how low the rest of my team is. DM is super low. Mosk was super low. 14 seconds left. The R is still capping though, which is the crazy part. And I was really nervous about our Moskva getting wrecked in the last salvo. But even with travel time, he's going to be extremely close, and they're not going to reach it. So a pretty insane game. I just had to make a video on this. You don't get games like this anymore. And yes, to our DM, am I going to make a video about it? Absolutely. So GG's to our DM, GG's to our Mosca, and we made up for having an AFK even at the start and a nice little dev strike on a DM. It feels so good in a DD to get a dev strike on a radar ship, especially one that's been bullying you all game. So you don't really get games like that anymore. It's a lot of fun, and when they do happen, and really excited that I made a video about this one. So not the video I planned today, but the video I kind of think it was needed. You don't get games like this anymore. Let me know in the comments below what's your kind of go-to tier 10 right now if you just want to kind of have fun. I love the Grozavoy. That Russian line is so much fun. Kind of replace the Kaba, in my opinion, for even being a gunboat, with having the ability to gunboat if you really want, as well as being able to cap and then torp there. I think, you know, we maybe could have had some success in some other situations, you know, having the gearing with some longer range torps, having, you know, a bunch of other things, but still the Grozavoy, one of my favorite ships to play right now. I love shooting down planes. I love just gunning down destroyers and having just a lot of fun playing it. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.